I've been thinking of a lot of theory over the past month, ever since they came out, since Bad Lion introduced season 13. There's been a very specific change that, to say it plainly, interested me, um, in the form of its switch of rating system. The move from ELO to MMR. And I want to kind of talk about what this means, the difference between the two systems, if you don't know. I have a couple posts made by Archibot and Master G Berry, as well as some community members here that are relevant, and I kind of want to go over them and sum them up, see exactly what they mean, and break them down. The first one here is Archibot's special developer log 4, where he first introduces the idea of moving away from ELO at all. He says, essentially, what he's saying is Bad Lion in Season 5 did try to move away from ELO, and failed. Horribly failed. It was... I don't know a lot about what the system was then, but I remember it. I remember playing it, and it was fucking awful. The community hated it, and the staff ended up hating it too. But he says some things specifically that I wanna pick apart. He says the reason ELO isn't used across the internet anymore is that it was mostly created for 1v1 chess, where someone who is lower ranked than you should literally never beat you. ELO also doesn't give a shit about your past matches, it only cares about your current match. While this is great in chess, this isn't great in a game where you can grind out hundreds of matches a day. So, essentially, the argument here to get rid of ELO is that it was built for something else, that being chess, where the flukes that happen in Minecraft, where the worst player wins against the better player, never happen. ELO wasn't designed to handle these flukes. But he also says that, essentially he says it's bad for ELO to be used in a game where you can grind out a lot of matches. In chess, matches take a very, very long time. A lot longer than a Build UHC match. But I want to talk about that. I'm going to pull up a post of mine. It wasn't directly in response to Archibot's original post, but it actually, both of those points that he just pulled up, I kind of respond to both of them. I'll pull it up for you. I say... I mean, it's a fucking wall of text. But essentially what I say in this first paragraph here is that fluke that we're so afraid of now, the whole reason that we're switching systems, might not be such a bad thing. Like Archibot said, the fluke never happened in chess. Or if it did, it was next to unheard of. You can't force a fluke loss in chess against a better player than you. But in Minecraft that happens all the time. There are cheaters that just roll through. They just fucking destroy you, obviously. You can lag out. You can just fluke a loss against someone that might be much better. That you might be much better than. This happens in Minecraft, whereas it didn't really happen in chess. But what Archibot also said was that chess didn't have very, very many matches that you could grind out. Now, these two things are actually much more related than you might think. The fact that you can grind out all these matches balances out the fluke loss. This is what I'm saying in this paragraph. There's no reason for a worse player to try against a better player if he knows he's gonna lose. He might get a fluke in chess against a much better player, but he probably won't. he's probably gonna lose. The best he can do is maybe force a draw. But in Minecraft, or in Battle Lion's system at least, that fluke is much more common. There's reason for the worst player to try. That's not a bad thing. And I mean, it does suck when you're on the other end of that fluke. But the idea is that you can grind out a ton of these matches to balance that out. If a good player really just fucks up one match, he I don't know, he not like lags out, but maybe he just plays poorly, out of pattern for one match. Yeah, that sucks, but he should get deranked in response. He should get pretty heavily punished for losing against a much worse player. Elo, something that I don't think people really have come to understand. Elo judges consistency far more than skill. And you might think that's a bad thing, but I definitely think that's what a rating system should do. Especially one in a game where in a game like Minecraft, where the skill cap is, even in the most complicated game mode, so very low. We've seen people hit the skill cap. Dante and Tyler's are both very evenly matched, if not perfectly evenly matched, when fighting each other, then very close. But Dante constantly outranks Tyler's, and by a lot. Why? Because Dante's more consistent. You can't be consistent without already having skill. I mean, if you're consistent and you're not skilled, then you're not. I mean, it doesn't matter. You're a bad player. But if you have skill and no consistency, which is very common, or you have skill and less consistency than some guy that has the exact same amount of skill as you, then you should be ranked lower than him. If you're more consistent than someone else, even if you guys play and you are dead even, you each win 50% of the matches, if you can win more against worse players than he can, you should be a higher rank. You're a more consistent player, and your rating system should reward that. And that's something that we've improved on. Yes, Elo was designed for chess, but that doesn't mean that it can't work here, even though there are differences like that. In fact, I think the fact that you can play more matches because they're faster is an improvement on the Elo system. Elo works in the idea that all these players, their ranks become more accurate as they all approach an infinite number of matches. So the more matches you can play, the more accurate it becomes. This is not a bad thing. This is not something that would make you want to move from Elo. I'm gonna let that point sit for a bit, because I want to talk about something else. Another thing that Archie said is that, excuse me, is that the removal of the visible number rating was given, I guess. The visible number rating was removed because their game developer sources have said that this should reduce toxicity related to the numbers. Reduce the anger of losing a ranked match, and I would very much agree with that. That makes a lot of sense. And I've personally experienced, I mean, this is a pretty well-known thing, the people get angry just, at that minus 31. But I have to ask, is reducing that toxicity with an invisible rating really worth what you're giving up in how addictive that visible rating is? Don't think so. I mean, Badline has done so well on Arena because players play, they get attracted one way or another, but they come back a lot. It's got a very high player retention rate compared to other servers or other game modes. And that is very much due to the grindy statistic that they can constantly bring up. You know? And to lose that is a mistake. You might be shooing away some toxicity, but people are less addicted to that number. They'll come back less. And no one gains anything by them coming back less. No one gains anything by them playing 20 or 30 or 40 matches and saying, you know what, I'm kind of stuck in Gold 1 or Emerald 4. I'm not really moving up and down. I got bored. This is something that I definitely don't agree with. Now, I've been ripping on the change actually, but I'm gonna put a different spin on it. Personally, I think that this change is good. Elo is bad. Believe me, if anyone knows the problems that comes with Elo, it's me. I made 30-minute videos. And half of them were probably about the problems of Elo, But this system, this current system, this Season 13 system, on August 12th that I'm recording this, because it's changing pretty quickly, doesn't work either. I mean, Elo does have problems. There's the inflation thing that I've talked about time and time again, where as more people join, you can't compare ladders. You can't compare Iron to build UHC. You can't compare people in the same ladder across seasons, because as Badline grows or shrinks, the Elo pool will do the same, and you suddenly can't compare Hadowolf's 1900 or whatever he had in season 1 and 2 to random people's 1900 in season 12. But this new system, although it can fix some of Elo's problems, still has to hold the good things about the old system. The things that I was just talking about, how addictive it is to see that visible number, as opposed to these arbitrary fucking silver, gold, emerald, diamond, masters ranks. It doesn't have the same tug, The rewarding consistency. In this new system, they say, if you lose one match, no big deal. Keep playing, blah, blah, blah. We won't take that many points away from you. But you should. You should raise that consistency cap, because as much as it sucks to lag out and for your computer to freeze up, we can't base our rating system on those kind of things that happen at random times to some people. We should raise this consistency cap, because like I just said, Minecraft has a pretty low skill cap, but it can have, it takes a shit ton of skill to be consistent in this game. It's so fucking random, and when you come across someone like Dante who can consistently beat any playstyle of Build UHC, any other good player, 95 or 99 or closer and closer to 100%, you should be rewarding him for that. Absolutely. So, as much as I support this change, this distancing ourselves from the Elo system, it had a lot of merit to it. And I don't want to see that go, I guess. It's hard because I think all of the arguments I've brought up have been pretty objective, you know. A lot of people are like the community's in a fucking uproar because they're afraid of change, honestly. Um, but I do truly think that this MMR system can be good. But there's some hole in the theory here, and well, those are the things I want to see in the new rating system. Those are my thoughts. Um, Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, you're a legend. And that's all. Bye.